The last finals played before COVID impacted the next season. This series between the Toronto Raptors and Golden State Warriors is seen by many as the last good NBA Finals. Almost 5 years after that NBA Finals happened, many people look back on that 2019 Raptors team as a pretty stacked roster in hindsight. As well as them taking down the team many people at the start of the season thought might be the greatest team of all time. So allow me to remind you the history of this underrated NBA Finals. Starting with Game 1, it was close throughout, but the Toronto Raptors led mostly through this game and were able to get the win. This win was actually led by Pascal Siakam, whose coming out party was in this series. He was drafted in the first round of the 2016 draft, and it wasn't actually until this year was when he started getting playing time. Since this series, he's become a two-time All-Star and a very sought-after player for the last few years. In Game 1, he dropped 32 points, which became a shock to everyone. I actually remember talking about this performance in the barbershop at the time, and everyone was in agreement that this series was going to be closer than expected. Game 2 this time was won by the Warriors. The third quarter Warriors ruled the day this game behind the efforts of Clay and Steph, who both dropped 20 plus each. After a rally by the Raptors in the fourth quarter, a world-saving shot by Iguodala saved the game for them with 5.9 seconds left. Now, I bet you're wondering, oh wow, where's their last Avengers piece at? I'll get to that later. But for right now, the series is now tied 1-1 going back to Golden State. No way the Warriors won't win a game at home, right?
Puts up another three. Shot won't go. That'll do it. Golden State has tied the finals. What a gritty performance on the road. Another road win for Golden State. Toronto Raptors and Golden State Warriors all tied up at one game apiece as we welcome you to the NBA Finals presented by YouTube TV, a sold-out Oracle Arena for Game 3.
Game 3 happened in the last few weeks of Oracle Arena being in use. And as much as I hate this arena being a biased Thunder fan, I cannot disrespect the crowds that used to be in this arena for the Warriors' brightest moments.
Timeout in Barron's house.
It is also to be noted, even though he isn't as good as he is now in the 2020s, Kevin Looney missed this game due to an injury. So that is to be of note, I guess. Anyway, in Game 3, this game was honestly something you probably couldn't have predicted in the prime Warriors dynasty era. Stephen Curry dropped a whopping 47-point game against the Raptors, and the Warriors only led once in this game. It was still pretty close throughout, but the Warriors got outshot by the three-headed monster Danny Green, Kyle Lowry, and Fred VanVleet. They combined for 14 three-pointers, which was 6 coming from Green, 5 coming from Lowry, and 3 coming from VanVleet. In another close one, the Raptors ended this one with a win to go up 3-1 in the NBA Finals. Even though it was a tie game in the third quarter, the Warriors' third quarter powers didn't turn on in this one, as they lost both games at home. Kawhi dropped 36 on the Warriors and almost had 30 points in every game of this series. By the way, can we just talk about how crazy Kawhi was playing in this run? Everyone talks about LeBron ruling the East, but if Kawhi stayed in the East with this team, who was a second seed the year after, I don't know if Giannis could have gotten a ring, honestly. But I digress. Game 5 was really being hyped by ESPN, and it worked as the entire city of Toronto showed up outside the arena, hoping the Raptors can hoist the trophy in their home arena. But there was something else being hyped up in this game too. After being injured in the second round of the playoffs versus the Rockets, the slithering snake finally made his return in the NBA Finals. Oh, he just got injured again. To be serious, though, KD was cooking at the start of this game before his injury, and what might have not been known at the time would be a long time before KD would finally return. This would be the last game he would play with the Warriors, as in the offseason he would join the Nets with Kyrie. He would also miss the next season as well. But this injury didn't stop the Warriors, as they would have a surprising victory in this game. In the fifth close game of this series, and don't worry, we have more, the Warriors led majority of this game. It wouldn't be until late into the fourth quarter when Kawhi decided to turn into prime Jordan and carried them into gaining the lead. But in retaliation, Steph and Klay would also hit big shots back, as Klay hit a clutch shot to take the lead. The Raptors weren't able to make the game winner, as the Warriors were able to push it back to one last game in the Oracle Arena.
And it was a great job of double-teaming Leonard so he couldn't beat.
Game 6. Can the Warriors finally do something to another team that has been done to them before? The 3-1 comeback in the NBA Finals. It would be very close, but Klay decided to show up in his evolved form for Game 6, dropping 30 points with an entire quarter left to go. This would end in sadness, though, as he wasn't able to finish the game, having an ACL injury that would end his season and make him miss the entirety of the next 2 seasons. Stephen Curry sitting on the floor would be seen as the last image of what could be a fading dynasty at the time.
Back out on the floor, and it's what Jeff, you said.
This guy didn't have to use the restroom.
And he hits the free throw.
I think they're signaling to go back and play zone.
Unlike most of the games in this series, there was a lot of back and forth, all the way into the fourth quarter. With the Raptors having a 1-point lead with 9.6 seconds left, all eyes were on Curry to make the game-winning shot to force a Game 7.
Throws it to Green, who catches it. Back to Curry, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound Cousins deflected. Picked up by Leonard. Ball still loose. They dive on it and try and call time. And a timeout called.
So it's a technical foul.
No, Green had possession.
That wouldn't happen, though, as Kawhi would end the game with free throws and ended the Warriors for the time being. A lot of people think of this series in vain because of the injuries, but don't entirely give the Raptors their credit that they deserve. They had 2 All-Stars on their team at the time, with another 2 future All-Stars and plenty of depth. I believe this series needs to be looked back on better, and I think it was actually a really good series even with the injuries. But that's my opinion. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy, subscribe.